Have you ever looked at the whole crypto world and seen this massive opportunity, but then just felt completely overwhelmed by how complex it all is? Yeah, you are not alone. Today, we're going to break down the roadmap to turn that curiosity into a legit, credible career. And it's all based on the book, The Crypto Consultant.
The book kicks off with this really powerful idea, and it just perfectly sets the stage. This isn't about chasing the latest hype coin, it's about building real competence. And this new frontier, it's not just for tech geniuses, it's for anyone who's willing to learn, and, maybe even more importantly, willing to teach.
So here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to dig into the problem, what we're calling the crypto knowledge gap. Then we'll get into the right mindset you need to have. After that, we'll walk through a 3-step process: educate, empower, and earn. And finally, we'll see how it all comes together to build a lasting legacy. It's a super clear path from learner to leader.
Okay, let's dive into the core problem this book points out. Right now, there is a huge global shift in wealth happening, and it's all powered by blockchain. But most people are just stuck on the sidelines. And why is that? It's because they don't have the right education. They're basically lost in this sea of confusion, jargon, and, honestly, a lot of fear. Now, this slide just lays it out so perfectly. On one side, you've got the chaos most people feel, right? The crazy volatility, the scams, all the confusing jargon. It just leads to fear. But on the other side, you have what's actually possible: a clear strategy, real security, simplicity, and all of that builds confidence. The whole job of a crypto consultant is to be the bridge that gets people from that messy column on the left to the clear one on the right.
So, how do we actually build that bridge? Well, it all starts with a very specific mindset. The book makes it clear a crypto consultant isn't some hotshot trader or a coding wizard. Nope, they're a guide. You become the human connection between this powerful, kind of scary technology and the everyday people who need to understand it.
And this right here? This just nails the definition. Your job isn't to give hot tips or promise people they'll get rich quick. It's about empowering others to make their own informed decisions, not emotional ones. You're the translator, you're the educator, you're the trusted advisor in a world that is desperately screaming for some clarity.
So this mindset, it's really built on 4 key pillars. First, you have to be a learner, always. This space changes by the hour. Second, you've got to teach with simplicity, because making the complex easy to understand, that's your real value. Third, you must operate ethically, because trust is everything. It's your ultimate currency. And finally, you have to be a patient builder, focusing on giving value long before you even think about the profit.
All right, let's get into the action plan. Step 1, educate. Before you can ever earn a dime, you have to educate. This is the foundation, the ground floor. The book is super clear on this. The best, most effective way to build trust and authority in this space is by teaching other people what you know.
But how do you teach something that's so, complicated? This is where these simple but super powerful techniques come in. You use analogies that people can grab onto instantly. A blockchain? It's like a public record book that can't be erased. A crypto wallet? Think of it like your own personal mobile bank. By ditching the jargon and teaching in layers, you make it all feel approachable, not intimidating.
Now, once you start educating, you're going to start attracting an audience. The next crucial step is to empower them by building a real community. And this is a big deal. We're talking about transforming a passive group of followers into an active, engaged network, a group of people who trust you and support each other. You're not just building a follower base, you're creating a movement.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's one thing to post some content online, but how do you actually create that sense of belonging and turn your little corner of the internet into a trusted hub for learning? And here's the playbook. The process is pretty straightforward, but it definitely requires dedication. You have to be transparent and just consistently share valuable stuff. Then create a dedicated space where people can actually interact. Think Telegram or Discord. Host regular learning sessions to keep people engaged. And maybe most important of all, create a culture where questions are always encouraged and even the smallest wins get celebrated. Okay, so this brings us to the final action step, earning. This is where all that influence you've built through your teaching and your community starts to translate into an actual income. The book really hammers this point home. Earning should be the natural result of all the value you've provided, not the main goal from day one.
So, what does earning with integrity actually look like? Well, this slide lays out some really practical, sustainable ways to do it. We're talking one-on-one consultations, creating your own courses, hosting paid boot camps, or even partnering with platforms you actually trust. The whole philosophy is simple. Teach for free to build trust, and then charge for your specialized services to build your income.
So at this point, we've basically built a whole career path. But the book takes it one step further. It challenges us to think beyond just a career, and to start thinking about the legacy we can create. This is where you go from personal success to making a real, lasting impact on the entire industry.
I just want to pause on this for a second, because it's so important. A legacy in this space isn't some trophy you get at the end. It's the communities, the systems, and the educated people you help create along the way. It's the positive change you're making right now that will keep rippling outward long into the future.
And we're going to end on this final, powerful thought from the book. Being a consultant, that can build you a great career, for sure. But taking it to that next level, by mentoring others, building systems, and leading with total integrity, that allows you to become a legacy builder. Someone who actually helps shape the future of a more informed, empowered, and decentralized world. So the question is, what will you choose to build?